Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Chris Miller, Chris Crazy House, back in the house. So once again, that me trying to set up the live stream to happen, like I set them up as to do live streaming later, and both seem to not work. I did the one yesterday and today, so I had to restart the live stream both times. So I don't know if it's YouTube or it's something I'm doing wrong or what, but I will double check next time. So next time I try to do an upcoming live stream, it actually works the way it's supposed to. So how's everyone doing? I hope you're in the room. If you are here and you can hear me, make sure you get in the chat and say hello and let me know that you can hear me just fine here while I'm live streaming. So, and today we're going to be talking about art scams. So if you are a artist, whether you do animation, comic books, illustration, video games, whatever, I'm going to be talking to you guys today about the scams you need to look out for, especially if you're going to be an independent contractor. Okay, so just be sure to tune into this one, and I will definitely be reposting this on my other social media platforms because I think this is a very important live stream that people do need to hear. So let me see if I can just grab the link itself. Yeah, let me share. I'm going to share this on Facebook and just let people know what I'll be talking about here on this live stream. So hopefully everyone's doing well. Like I said, my birthday was this week, and I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed all the main thing I enjoyed, to be totally honest with you, is just the love and respect and admiration I get from my family. I do feel extremely fortunate to have a family that loves and appreciates me. So having them here with me and having them be appreciative of me is something very special, and I wouldn't trade that for anything else in the world. That's the best present that I could get from my family, and just the fact that they're here with me and they love me and show me respect. Okay, I've been very fortunate in my life that even with the bad things that have happened, my position now and where I'm at, I do feel very fortunate for that. So, uh, just wanted to see what's going on out there. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with anything on that's out there as far as public media goes. I've actually been watching The Boys on Amazon Prime. It's actually one of the better shows I've seen in a long time, I must admit. It's now first of all, it's a violent show, so if you are not into violence or profanity or sex, don't watch it. But uh I knew it was going to be like that because I read the Boys, the graphic novels way back when, probably back in like 2009, 2010. So I knew all about the graphic violence and everything else and sex and everything else in that story. And like it goes into some even crazier places. I'm wondering how much of it they're going to actually put on TV. So we'll see as the series goes on. But I really enjoy that series. It's a funny. If you're into dark humor, you'll love this show. But if you're not, then just don't watch it because it was something that you won't appreciate. But like I said, it's a show that I appreciate. I like the writing, I like the characters a lot, and it's a very interesting take on the superhero genre. Something that you really don't see that often. Okay, I think other entities have attempted and wanted to do things like this with the superhero genre, but because they have these big properties like Superman, Batman, or the other side of it, Iron Man and Captain America, they can't go to the depths that the Boys can. And the Boys, they have analog characters that are like very famous characters that we all know and love. Like, the Homelander is like an analog for Superman, and Queen Maeve is like a analog for Wonder Woman. So that's where they go with that. And in the books, they actually have all the super teams from even different comic book universes. Like there's there's a knockoff of the X-Men. I think it's called the G-Men. They mention them in the show, but I haven't seen them yet. But if you actually read the comic books, they do have a X-Men knockoff as well, which is and that story arc is actually very funny because they have some of the questions, but also the some of the criticisms that I've given the X-Men over the years. Not to say I don't like the X-Men. You see me rocking the X-Men shirt. This was one of my birthday presents that my wife got me. She got me the Jim Lee X-Men. Now the shirt is a little weirdly designed. I must admit, it's a cool shirt to have, but unless you're an artist or someone who remembers when this was done, like I can tell you that they pulled this. This is not an image that Jim Lee drew. He drew it, but they took different images from different comic books and put them on this shirt. So even if I can stand up, you can see it. It's kind of odd. Like they actually took different issues of his X-Men run and made a collage of the characters on their shirt. And it doesn't look bad, but it's something that, like I said, I noticed it as someone who's a Jim Lee fan, as someone who read those books when they first came out. I recognize where the artwork came from, but your average, just layman, a person who sees the shirt gives me compliments because they don't know what went behind it. I can tell you that it's a collage of different things going on here, but that's neither here nor there. Just to show you some of the things on my desk here. My dad bought me these for my birthday as well. He actually bought me some micro Transformers, and they're all over my desk. I like to have toys or any type of action figures on my desk. I used to have more of them before my daughter was born, but I had to, kind of hide some of that stuff because she's one of those little kids that likes to take stuff and he'll just like she won't even tell you. They'll just wind up in her room somewhere, or she'll be playing with it, and then like if you get upset, she'll be like, what do you want me to do? I'm playing with toys. What's the big deal? Like all my dinosaurs, she's taken most of them already. So, but I don't get mad at her because that's what it is. Okay. If there's stuff that I don't want her to touch, I just need to put it somewhere where she can't get to it because otherwise it's going to wind up like she takes. But it doesn't have to be toys either. She takes my keys, my wedding ring, everything else. So you never know. But those of you who have young children know exactly what I'm talking about. But like I said, today we're going to be talking about art scams. If you are here, and make sure you show yourself in the chat room. Let me know that you're here, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So for those who are watching, I am here now live on YouTube, and we'll be talking about art scams today. So this is the stuff you need to look out for if you are an artist out there. It doesn't matter what type of art you do, whether it be animation, writing, illustration, what have you. Okay, and I've been working since 2001 was like my official, but I was an intern before that. But I've been doing art and animation since the late 90s, so I can tell you a lot of stories about what you need to look out for as far as being an artist out here. Let's start with the number one. I have a list here of things you need to look out for, but number one on the list of art scams you need to look out for is when anyone says, just do this for me and I'll give you exposure. Okay? There is no amount of exposure they can give you that will equal a paycheck. Do not do work for free thinking that you're going to get some sort of exposure from doing so. Okay? The only thing these people will expose you to is poverty. All right? You do not want to be out here doing free work and thinking that somehow this is going to help your career. You're going to get some exposure from it. Okay? And it's not just these low grade losers out here who will do that to you, but you have major companies out here who do the same thing. A lot of these so-called quote unquote art contests are just as bad, if not worse. They're doing the same thing where they're saying, we're going to give you guys exposure. We're going to help your career. All you got to do is do this artwork for us. And they're just getting free artwork out of you. You're giving your time and your labor and your skill and your talent, and you're not getting anything out of it. There's no amount of exposure that's really going to help you. In this day and age, with the internet, social media, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, uh, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Vimeo, all these different things out here. Go use that. Do not ever get sucked into these ideas of doing stuff for free. And someone posted the quote from the Joker saying, "If you're good at something, never do it for free." Exactly. Do not be suckered by these people out here who try to get free work out of you and say, "Oh, we're going to give you some exposure." You can expose yourself all you need to. As a matter of fact, when people try that with me, I let them know that I don't need exposure because you came to me. You found me, so I don't need exposure. If you came to me and found me to want me to do work for you, I'm already exposed. So what do I need you to give me exposure for? You see what I'm saying? You found my website or you saw my work somewhere else, and that's why you want to use me. Uh, you need to pay me for this work. 'Cause my daughter can't eat exposure. I can't pay the mortgage with exposure. I can't put exposure in my gas tank. Okay. The lights don't stay on from exposure. I can't get new equipment to do more animation with exposure. All right. I need that money. All right. So don't be suckered into that. Like I said, I've been, especially when I lived in Atlanta. I'm going to tell you some stories about that as we go along. But when I lived in Atlanta, I swear to God, man, I got so many of these people out here who were scam artists in Atlanta. I don't know what it is about Atlanta. They think they're the hustle capital of the United States or something. I don't know what that is. And not just black folks. I know Atlanta's a large black population, but there's other groups of people there that try to scam you too. I had an Indian guy that tried to scam me out of one of my concepts. Like he was gonna him and his lawyer wanted to buy one of my concepts, but they didn't want to pay me for it. They just wanted to license it, and they would get all the money from it, and they would have me work on it, but I would get like a work for hire type agreement. But so I'll be getting some money, but I wouldn't be getting like the royalties from whatever money the project made. I was like, that makes no sense whatsoever. It's something that I created. So why would I give that to you and you profit from it and me just get like a paycheck from it? That's nonsense. So don't be played out there by some of these folks. Okay. Like I said, this happened. I've had so many people try it on me. I've fallen for the okey doke maybe once or twice. But after you go through it every couple of times, and what happens is, uh, excuse me, the worst times is usually during like an economic downturn. That's when these people really start coming out of the woodwork, like during 2000. When was that? Was that 2000, end of 2008, 2009, where they had like Obama got elected and they had to bail out the banks and whatnot. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry. When they had to bail out the banks, we had a really bad recession back then. They tried their damnedest. Everyone was scamming back then. You had to be real careful to navigate and not get used by a lot of these folks out there. It was real bad. Even guys that I knew who worked for like Turner Studios and Cartoon Network were getting scammed. You know what I'm saying? Like there are guys that work for some of the production studios in Atlanta that were getting scammed by like some of these big rap artists. Don't be. It can happen to anybody, so just be careful. I remember working for this one studio. We worked on a Gucci Mane rap video, and uh, you know, us the staff got paid, but the payment they were supposed to give the studio, they just never paid them. And he kept like the head of the studio. I felt bad for him because he was like chasing down, trying to nail down these producers and whatnot. These rappers talk about all the money they got, how they're balling out of control, but when it comes time to pay their bills, they want to disappear on you. It's crazy how crazy some people get, or especially these rappers out here who brag about how much money they got, but when it's time to get to pay the check, then all of a sudden they're broke. Then the real story comes out later. So just be wary of that. There's no amount of exposure out there that you can do that's going to pay your bills or help you survive. So just be careful. Number 2 on this list, uh, when people try to get you to do a collaboration, that's usually a scam. Okay. And this is something that I've learned and seen other people go through. And what I mean by that, as far as doing a collab, I'm not saying you guys can't work together on a project and produce it together and get it out there, because I've done that with the Chronicles of PA. But I'm talking about, like, if you're collabing with someone who has no talent whatsoever. That's what I'm saying. Like, if there's someone that just has an idea and they're saying, "Hey, let's do a collab," but they're saying, "Hey," essentially what they're doing is they're getting you to draw or animate or write their idea, and they have no talent whatsoever to produce at all. Like, they're not a writer, they're not an artist, they're not they can't color, they can't even like make stick figures or whatever, but they're telling you what to do, and but they don't want to share the profits later on. They just want to get you, they just want to say, we want to collab or whatever. Don't do that. That's a waste of time. Okay. Especially for someone like me who can create stuff on his own. I don't need some partner who's just going to be an albatross or a cinder block around my neck. Because it's going to make me drown too. Okay. I want to move forward. I don't need someone else wasting my time who has no talent. And that sounds harsh, but uh, if all you have is ideas, then maybe you need to go hire some people. Like if you want someone to produce your idea, then you need to hire them and pay them to produce your idea. Don't try to say, "Oh, let's collab or let's work together," but it's not us working together. It's just you getting me to produce your idea. Okay, that's totally different. That's two different things that you're trying to ask for. If you need someone to do some work for you, you need to pay that person. You don't ask someone to collab to fix your house, huh? Like if you have some contractors or a plumber or something that's broken at your house and you need someone to come fix it, you say, "Well, I'll help you out with some things," but you still have to pay that plumber. There is no collaboration with that plumber. Okay. His time and his labor and his skills are valuable, and you have to pay him for that. And that's what I want you guys to think about when, as artists, you need to think yourself in that regard. You're a contractor. And I'm so glad that I had a father who was an architect and who worked as an engineer, because I learned a lot from him as far as that goes. Like if uh you see yourself doing art the same way you see yourself doing any type of contract work, okay? You get contracts, I always get a down payment before I do anything, and I make sure that I get, so at least if they bug out on me, I got that first half of payment. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna pay me something for the time that I'm putting in, and I always hold back on that last part until the last payment is getting ready to be exchanged. Like I have no problem exchanging because I do that a lot too. Or I did. I really don't do that as much anymore since I'm far away from usually the people I work with. But when I was there in person with them, I would give them the DVD or CD or zip drive or whatever drive that I was using, that I worked on it, and they would give me my check, and that worked out just fine. But like I said, don't be sucked into the whole collab thing, because you just be working with people with no talent, and they're just getting you to try to produce their stuff for them for free. All right. This one, this one's kind of new because of the advent of crowdfunding, but this is something you need to be careful of. Okay. Uh, don't go for the whole you'll get paid when we get our funding. Like you'll get paid when we get our Kickstarter, or you'll get paid when we get our Indiegogo or whatever other crowdsourcing or crowdfunding is out there. Okay, don't get sucked into that. You're not going to start because what they're going to try to do is get you to do a whole bunch of work for them, and then say, okay, well now I'm going to put this out here and see if we can get some Kickstarter money for you. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that at all. That's just, like I said, that's another waste of time. There are millions of Kickstarter projects that go online and just floating out there and just don't make it. Okay. So if this person is serious about you working on their project for them, they need to pay you ahead of time, even before they do their little Kickstarter. Like I've done work for people's Kickstarter, but I got a paycheck first. Like uh, what was it? There was some book I worked on where I did the illustrations, but I got paid for those illustrations. They said if the Kickstarter goes through, then we'll go and do some more stuff later on. But I got paid for the work that I did. You see what I'm saying? Make sure you always get paid for the work that you're doing. Don't depend on a crowdsourcing or Indiegogo or whatever, Cash App or whatever. Make sure you get your stuff paid up front. Don't try to depend on someone doing their crowdfunding later on to give you your paycheck. All right, because all you're gonna do is waste time. And the reason I don't like doing that, I don't like doing anything where I'm working on spec or working for free, because all that's gonna happen is that person's gonna make all these demands on my time, all these demands on what I'm drawing and what I'm doing, and they'll want 100% commitment from me, but they don't want to make 100% commitment into paying me. I will always say, if you're serious about this going that this is going to be a success, then you need to go ahead and pay me in advance. Okay. If you think it's going to make so much money, because I remember I had this guy in Atlanta, he wanted me to design some t-shirts for him, but he wanted me to design it on spec. Like he wanted me to design the t-shirts and then he was going to pitch them to big stores like Walmart and big retail places like that, and then try to get some money later on. I was like, okay, well, listen, here, I'll do this for you, but if you think that this is going to pan out and you think this is going to make money, go ahead and pay me what you think that these shirts are going to cost, or for pay me for my art and my time, and then once you start getting the funding, we'll move further from there. He didn't want to do that. I was like, okay, well, I was like, well, then you don't actually believe that this is going to make any money then, because you're just trying to scam me to get some free artwork out of me. So I don't want to go for stuff like that. It's like always make sure you get compensated for your time. Like I told you guys before, your time is your most important commodity. It's the most valuable thing that you have. All right. It's even more valuable than money. That's why people give you money for your time. Okay. So don't let that be taken away from, because it's the one thing you can't get back. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. There are things you can miss, like when you're working, especially in this industry where you're working on a project that takes time to produce, things that you produce months or years ahead of time. Animation takes years to produce. Comic books take months to produce. Anything that you're doing that takes that amount of time is going to take time away from your personal life. You might spend time away from your family or whatever trying to make a deadline. You want to make sure you're properly compensated for that time, so it's not just a complete waste. Okay, so make sure you always get paid for the things that you do, and make sure you're always compensated for the time that you give up. All right. Number four is the a big scam that I ran into a lot in Atlanta, is when these people will always tell you that they know someone who's famous or they know someone who's a big investor, but it's usually, like I said, they act like they know someone who's famous and who's going to contribute to this project later on. Watch out for that. Okay. Living in Atlanta, I can't tell you how many Negroes told me they knew Dallas Austin on a first name basis, and they went to school with him. They have his phone number, whatever. Everyone knows Dallas Austin in Atlanta, apparently. Okay, I don't know what. Apparently, according to him, he dropped out of high school by the age of 16, but apparently, all these fools know who he is. Okay, uh, when Tyler Perry became popular, everyone in Atlanta knew Tyler Perry. Everyone knows Tyler Perry. They got his phone number. They were the best man at his wedding or whatever. They babysat his kids. I don't know. I know he doesn't have kids, but I'm just saying, like, they make all these accusations about knowing these folks and making it seem like they're best friends with these people. So be on the lookout for that. And this goes for other groups of people too. Don't think it's just black folks. I've had people tell me they know the Kennedys, or they know what's the name of that family? Uh, uh, People that have friends in the Rockefeller family or whatever, and they're going to get all this type of funding to do this project. All you gotta do is do this, and we'll get you that money. No, pay me now, and then you can go to Mr. Rockefeller and ask him for his money, for some money later on. Okay, don't try to suck me into something that and you can't pay, or you can't afford it. Okay, get the money and then come back and ask me what you get and show me what you got, and then I'll work with you. But don't believe the hype. Okay, I've had so many guys tell me they know certain famous people and they can get money out of them or whatever, and it never pans out. Black folks, they know everybody. Apparently, they some of these black guys out there, they act like they just know every celebrity and what's funny is I've actually met and talked with certain celebrities, but you never hear me brag about it. Like I say, like I'm the man out here, okay? But because I don't know them, you know what I'm saying? Like I've met or talked to them for a few minutes, but that doesn't mean I can just say like, hey, I know this person. Let me go. I can ask them for money. Why don't you do this work for me? Based on that, like I've had business meetings with Robert Townsend. Like I worked on this project and we were working together doing that, but I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know him enough that I could just go in and ask him for money. The rapper, you all see him on Vlad TV, Lord Jamar. I've talked to him on the phone. Like he and I were doing a project together that was for one of the artists he was managing and never panned out. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen some of the artwork I did for that. But I don't know him enough to be like, hey, Lord Jamar, why don't you break me off a couple $1,000s for this project I want to do? I would never do that because I don't know him like that. You know what I'm saying? We worked on a business level and that was it. Once the thing was done, it was done. And we're not saying that there's anything bad or that we're not cool, but it's just you don't do that. You don't do that to people because at the end of the day, they're just people too. They're not superheroes just because you know their face. You know what I mean? They're not anything special just because you know who they are. They're still people at the end of the day. Maybe they have a little bit more money or a little bit more clout, but that still doesn't matter at the end of the day. Okay, and even if it's not a proxy, if it's actually one of these famous people that ask you to do something, still make sure you get your paycheck. Don't be fooled by them being famous asking you to do something and then they don't want to pay you. If there's someone, I'll be damned if someone famous asks me to do something and then they don't want to pay me the money to, for them to do it. It's like, why don't brag about how much money you got and then not pay me? I've done work for, like I did a solo contract for Disturbing the Peace Records back in 2010, 2009, I think. I did a music video, animated music video for them, for one of their artists, and they looked out. They paid me. There was no BS going on there. Like you would think a record label run by Ludacris would be something shady, but it's not. He was actually pretty up. I never met him, but I met the people that work with him. They were all very upfront. I asked for my down payment. They gave me my down payment. We worked on the video together as far as like what's supposed to happen here, and they let me hear the music tracks, and they gave me permission to use the tracks, and everything worked out great at the end. In fact, they paid me. They were so on point. They paid me before I even knew I got paid. Like I submitted a low resolution version of the music video just so they could approve it. And before I could even call them the next day to figure out see what if they liked it or not, if I had to make any corrections, I had already been paid in my bank account. Like I checked my bank account that day, and the check was already there. So there are people who are famous who are on the up and up, or who work at these big companies who are on the up and up, who will pay you and make sure because they don't want any legal trouble. So for the most part, most of them are going to deal with you fair, right? The same way when I dealt with a company that was working with Disney for one of their parks. I worked on a corporate presentation for that, and I got paid for that too. That with no problems. I didn't have to chase anyone down for a paycheck. The money was there as soon as I signed all the paperwork and got their approval for it. So that's what I'm saying. Like make sure that you always uh, dot your I's and cross your T's. Make sure uh, I would say have a contract, but to some of these idiots out here, that doesn't matter to them because they might just pull a disappearing act on you. But always try to do it the best and most legal way as you can. That's no 100% guarantee that you won't get screwed over, but at the least it'll be 95%. Okay, and you can take legal action if they don't really come through. So just be careful out there with some of these folks. Let's see. The last one really is just be careful out there when people ask you to. Is anytime they ask you to um, like they have an idea and they want you to draw their idea or to produce a portion of their idea, and then they say, okay, well we'll go if this looks good, then we'll go later on from here. Like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not wasting my time with that. Okay. If if you because like a lot of people will try to pull this Jedi mind trick on you where they say, well, I want to see if you can draw this type of style, or I want to see if you can do this type of artwork or this type of story, and that will help me determine if I'm going to be able if you can do this for me. I don't do that. What I'll do is I'll say, okay, look at this. I have a portfolio you can look through it, and if you decide that I'm the right person for your project, then we'll move forward from there. But I'm not drawing anything new. I'm not going to draw your character and do free character designs for you or a free animation for you, and then you get all that work and then just not hire me at all. So that's a waste of time. I'm not going to do that. You're not someone who deserves. You're not someone that should be wasting your time doing pitches for other people. Okay. Um, I did do a page for the book series that I'm working on right now, Big Monty. Like, I did a page for this, but I got paid for that for the preview work that I did. Okay, I got paid for that. I wasn't like just doing it for free. So just make sure don't there's no tryouts with art and animation. That takes too much time and too much effort, and people will try to do that to you all the time. We're like, hey, just go ahead and draw 5 pages of my comic. No, you're not Marvel. Okay, you can't ask me to do a test for you. Okay, you can't ask me to do test pages for you. All right. Same with because even like companies like that, uh, they'll compensate you for doing certain tests or whatever. Like I never got the job, but I interviewed with Konami a few years ago, and they gave you compensation for one of the tests that they had. Like I had to get to that certain point, to that interview point. Like you can't. It's not like your first interview they're going to be paying you for a test. You have to go through a couple of stages, like submitting your resume, demo reel, and all this other stuff. But uh, the little test that they gave me, I got compensated for it. So what I'm saying is, most major companies, they won't just ask you to do free work for them. There'll be something to it. Okay, you're going through a process, and it's not just them asking you to design something for them for free and then not giving you any type of compensation for it. But just be wary of that. There are a lot of scumbags out there who will just try to get you to do their comic book, 5 pages of their comic book for free. Or uh, what was always funny to me when people ask for, like, hey, could you just do 1 minute or 2 minutes of animation? That's not a lot. Do you realize how many frames is in 1 or 2 minutes of animation? Okay, animation is 24 frames per second. You see what I'm saying? Or even in digital, you might be 15 frames per second, but still, that's a lot. That's a lot of images to draw or to make for that 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, I know how much it takes to do a minute of animation. Even 30 seconds is almost asking too much. So don't be don't be fooled by that. See, but that helps when you know your craft. Like I said, when people try to ask me, hey, can you just do 3 or 4 minutes of animation? I'm like, no, I can't. You know how much money that costs, or how much time that would take for me to do that? No, I'm not going to do that unless you're going to compensate me for it. Now, if you're going to pay for it, that's cool. You're going to pay me a couple $1,000s for that? Sure, I'll do that. But I'm not going to do it just as a test for you. All right. If you want to see some animation that I've done and say, okay, well, I'm going to move forward with this guy because he can do this, that's different. Look at my demo reel. Look at any animation I put online, and you want to hire me based on that, do that. But I'm not doing stuff for you for free. So, like I said, just be careful. And I hope these lessons, or these uh, just these little guidelines that I've given you, help you look out for some of these scumbags out here. Okay. So once again, I'll just go down the list real quick. Uh, Number one, do not do something for exposure. There is no exposure they can give you to help you feed your family. The only thing they will expose you to is being poor. Don't do collaborations with someone who has no talent or discernible talent whatsoever. Don't wait to get paid through a Kickstarter or Indiegogo or any type of crowdfunding campaign. Don't be fooled by the I know someone famous or be fooled by the actual famous person. They still need to pay. Doesn't matter if you know someone famous or if you are someone famous, you still need to pay me for I'm doing for you. And last but not least, do not do any type of tryouts or examples or whatever, or sample pages or what have you. Make sure you always get compensated for the work that you do. So those are my ways for looking out for art scams out there. And I hope you guys appreciate that. And I hope you guys will take those words to heed and just be careful out there. Don't be put off by the fact that you're not a well-known artist. You still need to get compensated for your time, effort, and talent. Okay, not being well known is no excuse to be taken advantage of. All right, and you'll get there one day, and you'll get there with more integrity if you actually make sure you get paid. If you're getting paid for your artwork, other people will know that and see that, and that will help you move forward faster than doing stuff for free. If you're doing stuff for free, then people just think that your talent is worth nothing. See what I'm saying? Make sure you go out there, and once you get paid for that stuff, people will take you more seriously because you're someone who is garnering respect and respect enough to get compensation for your time and your effort. So make sure you always get what you deserve out here. So once again, I want to thank you guys, and I will be announcing that I am doing a free giveaway, but it's you have to answer the question correctly. Okay, so this is going to be what the giveaway is. I'll just let you know what you get in this giveaway. So you will get a naturally cute poster. You will get all 3 of my coloring books. And I will autograph all this stuff for you, by the way. So Naturally Cute Volume 1, Volume 2, and my Chris Crazy House coloring book. And you also get some Naturally Cute stickers. Okay, because I've had some stickers made of Naturally Cute. They're actually pretty decent size as well. So you get all this in the free giveaway. But you have to do these things. You have to be a subscriber. So that's the way I can verify who you are. That you also have to put it in the comment section, not the live chat, but the comment section to this video. If you put the answer in there, that way I know when you put the comment on there. I can actually I have the timestamp of when you put the comment on there and put the answer on there. So that's how I can determine who got there first. Okay. So here is the quiz question to get that free giveaway. Okay. And that is, I have a cartoon that's on this channel, on this YouTube channel right now. And there is a character on there named Harold, and Harold loses his job. Please tell me, the question is, why did Harold lose his job in this animation? So if you can answer that question in the comment section, not in the live chat, I'm not even going to look at the live chat. If you can answer this question in the comment section of this video when it's put up, that will help me determine who's the winner of this free giveaway. So once again, the question is, I have an animation on this channel. Not going to name it, not going to say what it's called, but there's a character in there named Harold, and Harold loses his job by the end of this cartoon. Why did Harold lose his job in this cartoon? Okay, it's on this channel. It's one of the ones I put up recently too. So make sure you look it up, and you'll find out, and you'll be able to answer the question in the comment section. Okay, and like I said, I will be able to determine who's got there first. And once you win, I will be able to contact you. We'll exchange information, and I'll contact you and make sure I get your actual address. And by next week, I'll probably be able to mail out all this stuff to you guys. Okay, so once again, thank you guys very much for watching this live stream. I appreciate you as always, and I will be back on my regular schedule next week. So next Thursday will be the new live stream around probably 10:30. And I'll be just doing one live stream next week, but it'll be on Thursday. I haven't decided what the subject's going to be, but We will be back here next Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Anyway, Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.